Wake up with Durham Breakfast every weekday morning. Do we have the hottest Hollywood movie stars popping in for a chat? No. But do we have the most listeners of any breakfast show on the radio? Also no. But we do have all the latest news from our part of the world, great guests who are visiting and doing amazing things in the Northeast, and a huge selection of just great music from the past 6 decades. So join me, Sam, Monday through Thursday.
And me, Matthew, on Fridays.
Durham Breakfast, every weekday morning from 7.
Your county, your station.
The Durham Podcast.
Durham on air.
And welcome along to the Durham Podcast, the first of 2026. So we'll get the formalities out of the way. Did you have a good Christmas? Did you have a good New Year? I hope so. The Durham Podcast is back to keep you up to date with everything going on across County Durham and the North East and in the city. Throughout the year, we'll have coverage of all the major events, and we'll be talking to people who are doing amazing things across the county. And we have got one of those on today's programme. On today's podcast, I am chatting to Louise McGill. Now, Louise is working with the British Heart Foundation to spread awareness of survivors of heart disease. Louise had a heart attack and has obviously lived to tell the tale. And in celebration of that, the British Heart Foundation are putting red benches in places where someone has been a survivor of heart disease. And Louise is from County Durham. She's over in Waterhouses, and they're going to be getting one of those red benches over there. So I'll be chatting to Louise about that next. Damian is also on the podcast this week. He is chatting to world superstar comedian Russell Howard, who is performing at the Stockton Globe this weekend. All about touring and visiting the Northeast. Let's get on with the podcast. Every 3 minutes, someone in the UK dies from cardiovascular disease, with the condition affecting more than 8 million people. Yet, in addition to the physical and psychological impact of their conditions, new figures suggest the disease carries a hidden burden many people never see. 1 in 2 people, it's actually 55%, living with cardiovascular disease have felt judged or embarrassed about their condition. This is according to research from the British Heart Foundation. It comes as the British Heart Foundation are unveiling 65 red benches across the UK in tribute to those who are living with cardiovascular disease, as opposed to people who have been lost to the disease. Behind every bench is a powerful, real-life story of someone living with the condition, with the installations turning the familiar motif of a memorial bench on its head by commemorating those who have survived. Now, in our part of the world, Louise McGill, she had a heart attack at the age of 45, despite leading an active and healthy lifestyle, and only days after she'd completed a 5K run. Louise is from Waterhouses, and we're very lucky she's joining me on the phone right now. Hi, Louise.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us to have a chat about this, and thanks for coming on the radio and letting everyone know your story. So, at the age of 45, you were unfortunate enough to suffer from a heart attack. Obviously, very, very scary time. What was life like before that? It sounds like you were incredibly active.
Yeah, I was, a normal mum. I had 9-year-old twins at that time. Worked full time and tried to keep us, I wasn't a gym bunny, don't get me wrong, but I tried to stay as healthy as I could and ate well. And
you'd done a 5K run, am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, it was the 5K runs that are around the country for cancer research.
Right, and how long after doing the run for cancer research did you have your heart attack?
I think it was something like 6 weeks.
So that's pretty quick. At the time when you were having the heart attack, this sounds like a weird question. Were you aware of what was happening, or was the idea of that just such not a possibility that it didn't occur to you?
No, it didn't cross my mind that I was having a heart attack. I'd been asleep. It was, it was through the night, and I just woke up with the pain. Thought it was something like indigestion and came downstairs, but then gradually that pain got worse and worse. It was that it felt like something was crushing me, and it was getting quite difficult to breathe and very distressful. So
it was like a pressure on the chest, was it?
It was, yes, and I was sort of very hot and bothered, and you just don't know what to do with yourself. So I got I woke my husband up, and it was him that rang 999.
Were you at home, or were you away somewhere?
I was at home.
All right, okay.
So when the paramedics arrived, they pretty much just said, I think from looking at me, you're having a heart attack. And
What was it
Brian
like hearing that?
Brian and I just looked at each other, and I thought, this is it. Maybe my time is up now. It was pretty terrifying. I managed. I don't know how I managed, but I managed to go upstairs, and my girls were both asleep. I managed to sort of just give them a kiss and say goodbye, just in case.
Oh my God, Louise, that must have been absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So I'm guessing then you went off to hospital.
Yeah, they took me straight through the Freeman Hospital, and all the surgeons, doctors, nurses were all there, basically geared up for me turning up. Yeah. Just on reflection, I remembered everything because it was all a bit surreal on the night. And they took me into the cath lab, and one of my arteries, the main artery to your heart, was about 98% blocked.
My word.
As well as there was a couple of the small blockages, but they stented the main artery. And yeah, it was quite quick that I started to not have that pain anymore. The surgeon said, you are going to feel better soon. And that pain gradually went once that stent was in.
Had you ever had any pain before? Any chest pain, any pain that felt like it was around the heart before having your heart attack? Was there any sign at all looking back that something like that might be about to happen, or was it completely out of the blue?
It was totally out of the blue. Wow. Yeah. It wasn't something I anticipated at all.
And what was your recovery like? So I'm guessing you spent an amount of time in hospital and then you were allowed to go home at some point?
It was actually quite a short period of time in hospital. I think it was about 48 hours afterwards. And then I came home, but, with medication that I'm on for the rest of my life, take that daily. And I got set up with cardio rehab within a couple of months. There was lots of follow-up appointments, MRI scans,
sure.
CT, ECGs. There was a lot following those recent few months, definitely.
And of course, thank God that you're here to talk about it and here for your girls as well. But one of the reasons we're speaking today is because of this research that the British Heart Foundation have done, which is about how survivors feel afterwards and the kind of stigma attached to heart disease, cardiovascular disease. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because obviously you'd think that you've had a heart attack, you survived a heart attack. Surely it's all, love and light at this point, but that wasn't quite the case, was it?
Yeah, I've done an article on, I think it was highlighting heart attacks in women and various social platforms. And, I went on and had a look at comments, as I think curiosity you would. And somebody had commented and basically implied that I ate too much food. And I just read it and thought, why have you put such a mean comment? You don't know me. Why are you doing me? Are you trying to shame me? What angle was this person coming from? I didn't interact with them, but I thought, I can't be the only one that's had that kind of backlash of a certain type of people. I just thought it was unnecessary. It wasn't helpful. Somebody's had a medical issue and they're trying to recover and do the best that they can, coping with physical and sort of the mental side of it, as in, it puts a lot of stress on you and your family afterwards because life still feels a little bit uncertain, yet somebody would still be so cruel. Now, I'm quite resilient, so it didn't massively affect me apart from I thought, you don't know what's around the corner for you. You don't know what's around the corner for your family. You've got no right to make those comments. And that could really affect some people.
I mean, it's an incredibly ignorant comment, obviously. That goes without saying. But I think what it maybe shows is a deeper rooted lack of information or ignorance, really, isn't it? It's a lack of understanding, because the information's out there, a lack of understanding about who can be affected by heart disease, who can be affected by cardiovascular. We have this... Go ahead, Louise.
No, I was just going to say, there is no stereotypical person that may have a heart attack these days. It's across the board. The demographic is wide on people that unfortunately do have cardiovascular issues.
And the research suggests that, it does affect people, and this is brave, coming on the radio and talking about this kind of thing. Not everybody would want to do that after having an experience such as yourself. Lots of people would go, do you know what, I'm just going to keep my head down and get on with it. Around half people who were surveyed said they experienced challenges with their personal relationships due to having the condition. Half of people with cardiovascular disease feel it's not taken as seriously as other conditions. I mean, you say you're incredibly resilient. You obviously are. You're a spokesperson, not just for the charity, but for disease. And have you experienced that kind of words are failing me this morning, Louise, but the feeling I'm trying to convey is like people kind of stepping back, or other people being a little bit embarrassed or not quite sure what to say if you say to them, oh yeah, well, I had a heart attack. Do you sense that awkwardness sometimes with people going, I don't know what to do with this conversation?
Occasionally it is more, I think they're shocked because again there's a prejudgment. I think it's all a lot done visually. People sort of just look at somebody and judge them as in maybe, oh, I'm not surprised, or really,
you don't look like someone in my head who I thought could have a heart attack, essentially.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So to celebrate, is that the right word? I'm not sure. Honour. Let's go for honour.
I'm happy to celebrate.
Let's celebrate, yeah, absolutely. To honour the people who are living with heart conditions, like Louise, 65 red benches have been commissioned, and this is to celebrate 65 years of the British Heart Foundation. And you've got your own bright red bench. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's really nice. I do find it a little bit surreal, and when the BHF asked if I would be part of this campaign, and then they mentioned the red benches that they were going to unveil for myself and 64 others, it hopefully inspires people to also donate to the BHF.
Of course.
They're living memorials that to celebrate the survival, mainly because of all the research that's been done over the years. That allows things like stents to now save lives like myself and others. Also, it gives, it's a nice bench in a nice place. Somebody can sit down, have a bit chat about any anxieties they've got, as well as that, celebrate, discuss any future dreams or hopes that you've got. It's a celebration rather than, sometimes benches with name plaques on, sort of. It's after the fact. It's the fact that all these people are still here and can celebrate with their family and friends because of the medical research that has been done.
And it's a conversation about the future, and it's a conversation about the people sitting on the bench as well and what they can do for themselves and their family, I guess, as well. And it is an incredibly beautiful place because your bench is going to be in Waterhouses, which is West Durham. If people don't know where it is, it's a very, very beautiful, pretty part of the world out there towards Crook. It's lovely. Is the bench there at the moment, or is it come in later this year?
It's not. No, I believe it could be over the next 3 or 4 weeks, maybe, but there's no definite date as yet.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye out and we'll whack it on our social media once it's up there, because I live not too far away, so I'll be able to pop down and put it on our Instagram. Louise, it's an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm really pleased that we can, and thank you for all the work you're doing to spread awareness and to support the charity as well. If anybody wants any more information about the British Heart Foundation, they can find it at bhf.org.uk. Louise, thanks for your time today, and I look forward to coming down and sitting on your bench.
Okay, no problem.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Durham Podcast.
Right, my guest on the show today is one of the UK's most loved stand-up comedians. TV, podcasts, the lot. And he's bringing his brand new show, Don't Tell the Algorithm, to the beautiful Stockton Globe this weekend before he heads off to the London Palladium. It is, of course, the very brilliant Russell Howard. Russell, welcome to Durham On Air.
Hello, Damian. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How is it all going? Busy?
It's busy, but great. Yeah. Monday to Wednesday are my dad days, and my son isn't sleeping, so I've been sleeping next to his cot. for the last 2 days. So I am. Do you know what? Being a parent, like, it feels like you fall in love with jet lag. So that's kind of my life at the minute. I have like moments of utter joy when my son does something wonderful, and then just fatigue beyond fatigue. But I'm good. is how I'm
Good.
feeling.
I could imagine, though, having a family and having a child like that, going on tour, doing this. And my gosh, I looked at the dates yesterday. There are so many dates. Busy year.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to juggle, right?
Yeah, but the great thing is, I love my son and I love my job. So if I had to do a proper job and do all those hours, yeah, I'd struggle. But it's still the best thing in the world. So it's not easy to say goodbye to your son, but to do 4 days of stand up and to play beautiful theatres and have people there, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I feel pretty lucky,
Oh, yeah. It must be such an absolute privilege to do something that you absolutely love. Every day you must wake up and go, this is awesome. I love this.
Yeah, well, it kind of it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but if you kind of walk around an empty theatre before you go on, and you just look at these beautiful buildings, and it's interesting because for years I did arenas, and arenas are great, and they're you can get loads of people in.
Yeah.
But if you do 3 or 4 nights in the same, or 3 gigs or whatever in the same 2,000 seater venue, you can then effectively play the same amount of people, but the sight lines are better, the rooms are better, there's just a better vibe. So it's like just being in a cathedral rather than an airport hangar. That's probably the best way of putting it. And you feel the history and the kind of they're built for people to listen.
They really are.
So being in one of those, seeing them empty is pretty special. And then when they're full, it's just bananas. And people are all laughing. And it's still, you feel like a conductor and everyone's having a societal orgasm around you. It's really great.
Great description. I'm enjoying that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how it feels.
It's very, very true. Well, you've not played Stockton before, and you are in for an absolute treat. You might have talked to some other comedians who might have been here, but it is a beautiful venue. It's not been open for that long, really. It's all been completely refurbished, and you have a beautiful dressing room, I'm sure, and you've got to sign a door with your signature. It's a gorgeous place. And you're doing 2 days. You're doing 2 shows on Saturday and then one on Sunday?
Yes, so the Saturday night is all sold out, and then I think there's a few tickets for the Saturday matinee, which starts at 3:30, and there's a few tickets for the Sunday night.
Yeah.
So it's what I mean. It's just nice to be able to do 3 gigs in a place and keep the show evolving and go to different parts of the country. And it feels like when you gig around the country, you add a different flavor to the stew.
Yeah.
And then the show gets spicier and more flavorful, and you kind of pick things up. That's kind of like, I'm a bit of a magpie, really. Sort of wherever you go, there might be something that you can add to it, so that by the end of the tour, it's hopefully it's a comedic reflection of the country and the time we're in. I feel like that's always where it feels like at the end.
Well, Stu, if you need some stew for this place, the Stockton Globe is going to be, Northern audiences, I'm sure you will agree, are quite loud. They're not scared to maybe do a bit of heckling. I would enjoy that. I'm going to play you a little clip. I was stalking you on Instagram last night, and I found this special moment, which I really enjoyed. Ready? Here we go.
All the time, You like bananas? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Possibly one of my favourite heckles I have ever heard on anything. Not related, absolutely brilliant. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was a young lady in Ipswich, and I was talking about Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
And she said, I like bananas. And it's such a disarming heckle.
Oh, yeah.
That it stopped me in my tracks. And it struck me that in that moment, nobody's tried fighting the xenophobia of Nigel Farage with utter nonsense.
Yeah.
So I was kind of riffing about the idea of, when he was talking about, there's migrants in our bins, of just kind of go, have you ever had a kiwi fruit?
Yes.
And just trying to hit him. So, but again, it's that thing of that's the wonderful thing about stand-up, that you never know. Like you say, particularly up north. I remember doing a gig in York, and a lady had brought. She said, "Me auntie's in a carrier bag," and I was like, "Okay, well, nice." And she went, "No, no, no," and she brought her auntie's ashes to the gig, like ironically, in a bag for life, and and it just then became this kind of incredible, because it turned out her auntie was a fan,
Right.
and she'd always wanted to see me and she'd never seen me, so she brought her. So it became this mad but very lovely, peculiar gig, and it was a real one-off. And that's what every gig has the potential to be. That if you've kind of got the kind of comedic courage to just chat and feel the gig out, you can then blend, you know, like you say, the northern madness with your material, and it becomes a unique night rather than just doing the same old monologue.
Yeah,
like I find it weird when you see a comic walk on stage. You go, "So the show's about," and it's just, you know, it's been the same in Stockholm as it is in Stockton, and Stockton and Stockholm, I would imagine, are very different places.
Oh, well, yes. You can't get much different than that.
No,
so when you first have done because you've started already, right? You started it, and then when you get to the very end of the tour, is it very different, or is it? It is completely different, right?
It's a bit like picking a World Cup squad. That players, if jokes are players, some of them, you know, they stay all the way through. They have amazing seasons and they go to the World Cup. And some jokes just come from nowhere, like Theo Walcott, just at the last minute and make it. So it's this, it's a blend really. So you'll have bits and pieces that stay, and then bits that go and come back, and new ideas. And I normally, when I record a special, I normally do an hour, and by the end of it, I'll easily have 2 hours. So you're kind of picking what you want the show to be.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't do. Imagine that. I think I'm doing something like, I think it's like 120 gigs. So if I was doing the same show every night, you'd kind of go mad. And I think the audience would feel it as well. If you know, you get that slightly robotic voice and you're doing jokes in that style, and you know the way the joke goes and num. So I kind of, to keep myself sane and them interested, I like to mix it up.
And that must be the buzz doing it in theatres, right? Especially doing a few days in one venue. You can actually see a lot of people. Do you have the house lights up a little bit so you can see a few people? Is it like that? No, it's too scary.
I just get distracted.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like if you're doing like a 2,000 to a 2,500 seater, for me, it's the perfect little theatre where it's just like you can be big and small. Yeah. But like you say, everyone's got a good view, and you don't need to see them if you can hear them, and then kind of play with them a bit. But if there's, I remember years ago, my friend Steve was supporting me in Bournemouth, and this is a bad case of seeing the crowd.
Oh no.
There was a woman who was asleep while my mate was on, and he's really funny, my pal, but she was proper out of it. And it was just, I think if you ever saw somebody, like, I've performed to dead people and that's fine. But if somebody is voluntarily asleep, it's, as far as heckles go, you just can't come back from that.
Oh no, you can't.
Any quiet moment and just hear her snoring, you're like, oh God.
That's incredible. It really is incredible. So tell us about Don't Tell the Algorithm. I know it's a really difficult question now, because you've said you don't like to have a specific thing for a show, but is there a theme here?
Not really. It's like I say, it's a reflection of the times we're in, I guess.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a catchy title because we're all addicted to phones. I certainly am.
Oh yeah, me too.
Stand-up comedy feels like one of the few places where you leave your phone in your pocket and you don't record it. So it feels like one of the few nights where you're actually having an evening away from your machine. Yeah. So I thought Don't Tell the Algorithm was quite like a secretive way of saying, hey, it's just you and me, rather than all the devices we have to kind of keep us away from each other. Yeah. So I just thought it was quite a catchy, but it isn't like this sort of deep and meaningful show about social media. There's a bit about it, and because, like I say, it's the common denominator in our times that we spend 7 hours on our phone on average. Yeah. So that's where we live. We live on the internet. Yeah. And it's sort of talking about, if you live on the internet, you kind of don't really connect as humans. And laughter is a very human experience. So when there's 2,500 people in a room, there's a truth in laughter. If you're all there together, there's something tangible and correct and right about people lost in laughter, strangers lost in laughter. And it's very rare that we get to do that because we don't go to the cinema anymore. If we go to a music gig, we kind of record it.
Yeah.
So we're very seldom there. And comedy is one of the few places where you are.
Literally there in the room as it is. What I find amazing about this is you are in the Stockton Globe and then you've got a few days off and then you're in the London Palladium.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What a warm-up for the Plage.
But it is. It's like, it's
brilliant.
That's the thing. It's every gig has the potential to be incredible. And it's, I don't know, there isn't really, I like them all.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm not just saying that. It's kind of like, be really good fun. Yeah. It'd be really interesting. And then something might happen in Stockton. You go, oh, great. I'll put that in the show. Or it's a sort of you're in a constant state of becoming. I think Bob Dylan said that. And it's a pretty good marker.
Definitely. Now, you're here for 2 days, so I know at some point you're going to need to go and have something to eat. Have you heard of the Teesside Parmo, Russell?
Yes, I have, I believe. Is it like it's a chicken parmesan with, am I right, with cheese on top?
So you've got a bit of bechamel sauce in the middle.
That's it.
Have you had one before?
No.
Oh, my friend, you have to. It's a delicacy. It's the weirdest thing ever, and it's just around where you're going to be performing. Anywhere else you go, you can't get it, and you can go to any pizza shop near where you are going to be, performing, and you can go and get one. So you need to delve. It's the weirdest thing. But is there a big Italian contingent in Stockton? Then where does the bechamel sauce come from? I don't know. That's what's really weird.
Some Teessider has obviously like gone to Naples, and has come back and was like, honestly, it was amazing. Like, I don't know how he did it, right? But it was absolutely superb. I'm thinking, what we'll do, we'll just wang it on a load of fried chicken and have some chips and bang.
Perfect.
But I love the fact that it's your thing. Yeah. It's nowhere else does it.
It's weird. Well, it's only about in Durham, really. You've got to go down to where you're going to be performing. It's like big, like sort of cage around Teesside where you can only serve chicken with bechamel sauce and red Leicester cheese. It really is.
Yeah,
it's gonna be amazing. You've got to get one. Let us know how it was as well, please.
Will do.
I'm very excited to have you in our very locality, and it's going to be a great time. You are performing in a building where so many amazing people have performed in the past. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones performed there.
Really?
Yeah. So, in its old building, not its they've done it exactly as it was. So you are going to have the best time.
Mate, well, there you go. Well, when you talk about warm-ups for the Palladium, if it was good enough for the Beatles, it's good enough for a comedian from Bristol. That will do for me.
Just
amazing.
A quick one before I go. I saw you're going to Bath, so you're going to go to where you're from. That must be, as a performer, when you started out doing this, going back to where you're from, doing this, and it must be such a buzz. Everything's a buzz, but going back to your home place, doing this must be amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And also, I've got 40 cousins, so the guest list is absolutely ridiculous. So, when I do gigs in Bath or Bristol, it's chocker full of my family. So I have to make sure I'm particularly on it, because when you talk about heckles, those weasels will,
Oh, really?
They got a lot on me. So I just got to be really careful. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What by the time you crapped your pants and cheddar cord? Shut up, Louis. So there's like just 2,000 people who were baffled, but they've got a lot of family secrets. I've got to be on my toes, but I love it. It's the same as anything really. You just kind of, there's just different flavors and there's different people. And it's just, I kind of like traveling and doing comedy. So kind of Stockton, Bath, London, wherever I go,
Amazing. Wish you all the very best of it. Have a great time. Amazing year ahead for you. And if you want to get your tickets for Russell Howard's, don't tell the algorithm, just go to ATG Tickets website, atgtickets.com. All the best, my friend.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Join me, Stuart Laundy, here on Durham On Air for the Monday Morning Music Show. Just great music from the past 5 decades and beyond. We'll celebrate our heritage stars with a couple of classic tracks from their back catalogue, and we'll relive those halcyon Top of the Pops days with a top 5 of yesteryear. And then, after the clocks strike noon, well, then it's quiz time. I'll test your knowledge with 6 of the best brain teasers for a Monday lunchtime. Mondays with me, Stuart Laundy, here on Durham On Air.